I'd like to welcome you all for coming to today's webinar. My name is Nick Steves. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Wishpond. I really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know everyone's busy for coming to watch and listening on my webinar, Advanced Strategies to Turn Blog Visitors into Leads. On the agenda today, we have 5 parts. I'm going to go through Wishpond's blog strategy. I'm going to talk about the lead generation tools that we're using and the types of offers that we're using in conjunction to them to get people to opt in. Then I'm going to go through some advanced multi-step funnels, and then I'm going to open up for some Q&A. And the way you can ask questions is on the right side here in the GoToWebinar panel. You can add your questions here via text message, and then I'll go through all of them at the end. So feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. So first, what is the Wishpond blog strategy? At Wishpond, we publish a blog post every single day, Monday to Friday, of long form content, generally 1,500 to 3,000 words. We find that allowing for that length of content with tons of meat in it really gets people engaged, gets people staying on each blog for a very long amount of time. It also does very, very well for us in terms of SEO. We've been doing this very focused on this for about 18 months now. And this style of blogging has been doing very good. Right now we're averaging about 120,000 page views per month on our blog, as well as 2,000 new email leads every single month. And it also is a large contributor to our overall revenue at Wishpond, which of course is the most important thing. So what tools do we use to generate leads on our blog? I'm going to talk about the 3 main tools that we use on our blog and show you exactly how you can use them on your blog with different types of offers. So the one that we've been using the longest and has been the most prolific is the call to action banner. And now we use 2 different types of call to action banners on every single blog post that we publish on our blog. The first one is a product call to action banner. This appears at the top of every single blog post that we create, which basically just, as you see here on the screen, it's a call to action for a landing page builder product. So people can actually sign up for it right from the blog post. The one thing that I want to stress really big about this is that every time we have one of these call to action banners on any blog post, we make sure that it's 100% relevant to the blog post that the person is actually reading. You know, if I was to show this call to action on a blog post about Facebook ads, the person might be interested in landing pages as well, but at that very moment, they're interested in Facebook ads only. So the likelihood of them converting on that call to action banner are very low. So we make sure that we only actually have this banner in particular when the blog post itself is about landing pages. And we do that by matching both the title and the blog post URL to make sure it has the word landing page or landing pages in it before using this banner on it. And we use different banners for different products depending on the type of blog post it is, like what the type of content is. So for example, if we had a blog post about email marketing, we'd have a banner for our email marketing automation tool. Or if the post was about pop-ups, we'd have a call to action for our pop-up forms tool. And the second call to action banner that we have on every single blog post is for one of our ebooks, and that appears at the bottom of every single post. Wishpond has a very large library of over 20 ebooks, so it makes it very, very easy for us to have an ebook that is very relevant to every single blog post that we publish on our blog. For example, if we're doing a blog post about landing pages, we would include this call to action banner that you see on the screen for our advanced tricks to optimize landing page conversions. So again, the biggest thing that you want to make sure of is that anytime you have any kind of call to action on your blog, you want to make sure that it is as relevant as possible to the piece of content that the person originally came to your blog to look at, because that's what is on the person's top of mind at the moment, and they're most likely to convert on. The second tool that we use is a scroll bar. Now, this is a bar that appears at the top of a person's internet browser when they're on your site, no matter how far they scroll down on any page. And the offer that we use on the scroll bar on our blog is to sign up for a free account for the Wishpond Marketing Suite, or to book a free demo with one of our inside salespeople. Now, this does kind of fly in the face of the advice I just gave, which is to make sure that every single call to action you have is extremely relevant to the blog post. But these ones are some of our highest value calls to actions and clicks, just because taking someone from our blog directly, especially to book a free demo with one of our salespeople, is awesome for us. It's one of the best ways that we actually fill up our sales pipeline. And we have a really great inside sales team. So more often than not, when someone does book that demo, they're going to turn into a customer. So to be honest, yeah, we don't get a ton of clicks on the scroll bar, but every single click that we do get is highly valuable to us. So it's a great way to actually turn people who are just visiting our blog into leads and then into customers very fast. The third type of tool, which is available within the Wishpond Marketing Suite, are pop-up forms. And there's actually 5 different types of pop-up forms that you can use, which are click, entrance, scroll, timed, and exit. We use 3 of those on the Wishpond blog. We use the click, scroll, and exit type of pop-ups. I'm going to walk you through all 5 right now and tell you different ways in which you can use them on your own blog. And the first one is click. And this is a pop-up that's triggered when a person clicks on a link or a linked image, such as the ebook banner that I showed you previously. Now, for that one in particular, we used to have it so that a person, when they clicked on that banner, they'd be sent to a new page for the ebook landing page. And we realized that when we switched over to using the click pop-up, we were actually able to increase conversions from that first click on the banner to downloading the ebook by 35%. And we saw that because instead of having to send someone to a new page that has to load and open up a new tab and take them away from the blog post that they're reading, we can actually just allow them to stay on the same page. The pop-up just appears over top of the page. And because it's so prominent right in the middle of the screen with basically a shadow around the outside, a person is almost forced to interact with it. So we found we get a lot more people downloading our ebooks when using the click pop-up as opposed to sending to a whole new ebook landing page. The second type of pop-up is the entrance pop-up. Now, this one is easily the most annoying of all the pop-ups, but I'm going to tell you a couple ways in which you can use it, which will be beneficial to you, but I don't recommend using it all the time. This is the pop-up that appears immediately on page load when a person first hits your site. They'll come to the site and immediately this entrance pop-up will appear. So people do get annoyed, but there's 2 ways in which you can use it. The first is for like a time-sensitive event. So if you have something like a webinar or seminar or conference coming up in the next couple of days, and you want to make sure that every single person who comes to your site knows about it, this is a great way to do that because every single person coming will say, hey, we're doing a webinar tomorrow, check it out. So that's a great way to promote that. Another great way to use it is with a time-sensitive offer on one of your products or services. So if you want to have a pop-up that says, hey, we only have 24-hour special on this specific service, this specific product, you want to make sure everyone coming to your site knows about it. This is a great way to promote it. The next 2, scroll and time, can be used somewhat interchangeably on a website. A scroll pop-up is triggered when a person scrolls down to a certain percentage of your page. On the Wishpond blog, we use it so that the pop-up is triggered when a person scrolls down 70% of the way on any given page. And the timed one is a pop-up that's triggered when a person has spent a certain amount of time on your site. So you can have it triggered so that it appears when a person spends maybe 2 minutes on your site, in that 2-minute period, then the pop-up will automatically be triggered. Now, they can be used interchangeably, basically because it's based on how much time and how much people have spent engaging with your pages. We prefer the scroll pop-up just because the length of our content on our blog can vary so wildly. Some of our posts can be 3,000 words, and they can take a person a half hour to go through, and some of them can just be like an infographic, which a person can breeze through in under a minute. So if we were to use a time pop-up on our blog, it'd be very difficult for us to actually gauge when we should trigger that time pop-up. Because if the article is 3,000 words, it takes a half hour to read, and we want to trigger a pop-up at 2 minutes, the person might just be getting into the article. They'll be like, yeah, I'm into this article. I don't want to check out this pop-up right now, and just click exit. And then if they go to an infographic page where they're only spending a minute on it, they might not even spend enough time on the page to trigger that pop-up. So we found the scroll pop-up to be the best use case for us because it doesn't matter how long the article is. At that 70% point, we found that a person has read enough of the article where they're really into it. They maybe just at that point they're checking out some examples of ways they can use the strategies, and maybe they're in a bit of a daze. They've taken a lot of information and they're ready for something new. So we hit them with a new ebook download for some advanced strategies that they can use to build on the information that they've learned in that particular post. And the final type of pop-up, which is my absolute favorite, is the exit pop-up. Now this is one that's triggered when a person shows intent to leave your site. And basically the way it works in the Wishpond's pop-up exit pop-up tool is we actually track where the person goes on the screen with their mouse when they're on your site. When we see that they're about to basically what's called break the browser plane or leave your site to like click the back button or click on a different tab or type on a different URL, that's when we trigger the pop-up to say, hey, wait, don't leave, check out my awesome ebook or check out my awesome webinars coming up. So it's a great way to grab people when they're basically just planning on leaving your site and get them to come back with something super valuable and turn those people into a lead when they may have actually just been leaving your site and never coming back. But you don't have to take my word for it. Next, I'm actually going to show you a case study to show you just how awesome exit pop-ups are. Now this is an excerpt from a case study written by Larry Kim, who is from WordStream, which is one of the best PPC advertising blogs out there. I definitely recommend you check it out. And Larry's been using the exit pop-up on his site for quite a while. And he shared some results in a case study they wrote on searchengineland.com. And he said that he was actually able to reduce bounce rate on his site by up to 60% and increase time on site by more than 50% with the use of an exit pop-up. And I know that when I heard these stats, I was salivating. And if you're into online marketing, you should be too. It's amazing numbers that you can get with this simple pop-up. And in one use case in particular, he ran a campaign, which is the one that you see here on the screen. And the 1,300 impressions that he got, he was able to generate 85 ebook download leads at a 6.4% conversion rate, which from people who were just planning to leave your site and never come back is really amazing to be able to do that. All right, now that I've run you through the main tools that we use on our blog, I want to show you 3 ways in which you can maximize the results, specifically when using pop-ups on your site, because pop-ups, for us at least, are the main generator of the leads on our blog. The first thing that I really want to stress doing is A/B testing. I really recommend you basically A/B test everything that you do online just because it's so easy to do, and it's a great way for you to benchmark your results to see actually what gets people to convert the most. So most of you are probably familiar with A/B testing. I'll give a quick run through just for those who aren't. A/B testing is basically, if we're using the pop-up as the use case, I would want to test 2 different variations of my pop-up to show that to different people who come to my site to test which variation actually converts best. And in those 2 variations, I can make them as different as I want. I can use different text, different colors, different call to action button, or even a completely different offer in general to see what resonates best with people. And using basically Wishpon's pop-up form tool in conjunction with the A/B testing feature, what I can do is just create 2 variations really easily and then tell Wishpon, okay, I want to run an A/B test between these 2 variations. And then what will happen is Wishpon will automatically divert 50% of the traffic who see that pop up to one variation and 50%, the other 50% of the traffic to the other variation. And then you actually track over time which one's converting better. And then Wishpon will actually give you a confidence rating to tell you, okay, this one I think is actually going to convert better at a certain percentage. It'll say it's 80% sure that this one's going to convert better in the long run, and then 90% sure, and then finally 100% sure that this one variation has been converting the best over this period of time, and we expect it to convert better forever, basically. And then once that hits that 100% mark, then you can just say, okay, I want to select it as the winner, and then Wishpon will automatically divert all traffic to that one variation. So it's a really easy way for you to run an A/B test and then automatically just publish the one that converts best. The second best practice that I want to stress that I already stressed previously, but it is very important, is you want to make sure that every basically offer that you use and all the lead generation tools on your blog are as relevant as possible to the content that the person is already reading at the time on your blog. So, if someone's reading, a post about cats, you don't want to show them a pop-up telling them to download this video about dogs. They're probably cat people. They're not going to be into dogs. You definitely don't want to do that. So using the Wishpon pop-up tool, which this screenshot here is an excerpt from, it makes that really, really easy. So say, for example, I created a pop-up to download my Complete Guide to Landing Pages ebook. And I want to make sure that's only going to appear when people exit on blog posts that are about landing pages. So what I can do is I take this piece of code that you see here at the bottom, I paste it into the theme of my blog so that it will appear on every single post that is published on my blog. And then I just say, okay, I want this exit pop-up to appear only on blog posts that have the phrase landing-page within the URL. So Wishpon will make sure that, every time I have a post that has that in URL, that exit pop-up will appear. So I don't have to go to every single blog post that I have that's about, landing pages and manually add it every single time. Wishpon automatically takes care of that for me. So it makes it really easy for me to make sure that all the pop-ups that I have on my blog are really relevant without having to go to every individual page and change the pop-up every single time. And the final thing I want to stress is you do not want to overwhelm your visitors. People are already averse to pop-ups in general, but if you use them properly and you use them sparingly, they can be very, very effective for generating leads. You just don't want to make sure that you're showing pop-ups and different things all the time to people every time they come to your site. My general rule of thumb is that I don't like to show the same call to action or the same offer to a person more than once a week. So even if they're coming to my blog, every single day because I'm publishing a new post every day, I don't want to keep, showing them the same offer over and over and over again. They're just going to get in the habit if, they didn't convert the first time, they're just going to get in the habit of closing it every single time. So I like to keep it to once a week. So if they come to my blog, every few days, they're only going to see it, once out of that, 5 times they come. So they might be more interested in checking it out because, they might forget about it from the first time, or they might be like, yeah, I will check it out this time. And Wishbone's pop-up tool makes this really easy. See here this excerpt from the tool. Basically, all I have to do is say, okay, I want to limit this pop-up to appear once per week for every single unique visitor. So Wishbone automatically takes care of that for me, so I'm not overwhelming everyone with the same pop-up. And also, one of the things it has is that when a person does convert my pop-ups, Wishbone will automatically keep track of that, so that when the person comes to my blog next time, they'll know never to show that pop-up to the person again. Makes it really easy. All right, now for the really exciting stuff. I'm going to show you 3 multi-step funnels that you can use, basically to get people engaging with more of your content after they have taken that initial step to opt in for one of your offers. So mostly this is taking place on what's called the thank you page, which is the page that a person is taken to after they opt in for one of your pieces of content, which is either download an ebook or sign up for a webinar or download a templates pack, whatever kind of offers that you're having on your site. They're taken to that thank you page. And like most marketers, for the longest time, I was totally missing this opportunity. I would just have a basic thank you message that said, hey, thanks for downloading my ebook. Here's the button to download it. So basically completely missing out on the fact that, this person just opted in. They're super engaged with me and my content right now. And it's the fact that that person at that very moment is much more likely to take another step, like share or check out another piece of content than anybody else, basically because they've already shown that they trust you. They trust you enough to give you their email address, which for a lot of people these days is a very valuable piece of currency. So it's a great time to hit them with, another offer to get them engaging more. And more often than not, if that offer is relevant, they're going to take that extra step that you asked them to. So the first one is a share with a friend thank you page. This is a really simple thank you page, very simple multi-step funnel to set up. So basically, after someone downloads your ebook, you want to send them to a thank you page and have a small ask that says, hey, share this with your social networks, and then provide those one-click shares through the buttons, through the ones I like, which are Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. You can actually, using these buttons, you can actually pre-populate the share message field with a certain call to action and then the link itself, so that the person, all they have to do is click the share message and it's sent out to the social networks, which makes it way easier for them. I mean, if you didn't have these buttons, then the person would have to go up, copy the URL from the URL box, then go to every single network and copy and paste and write their own share message, which for most people is too much work, and more often than not, they're not going to do it. So having these share buttons here with this small ask makes it really easy for people to share and drive more referral traffic and referred leads to download your content. The second one, which I really like, specifically for webinars, is the bonus offer thank you page. This is basically a thank you page that people are taken to after they've done that initial opt-in. It says, hey, thanks a lot for downloading, my ebook or registering for a webinar or whatever. Here's a bonus piece of content that I definitely recommend you check out. And I think it's best to have it for webinars specifically, because when someone signs up for a webinar, the webinars are happening for maybe a couple days. So they have that entire time period where they have nothing to engage with. They have no piece of content for you to do anything with. They're just kind of stuck sitting there waiting for your webinar to happen. So this is a perfect time for you to say, hey, the webinar's coming up in a couple of days. While you're waiting, check out this bonus piece of content that is really relevant to what you want to see in the webinar that you're going to be watching. But then one thing you really need to stress is that you won't be discussing the content from this bonus from this bonus ebook in the webinar. Because most people, when they come to this page, they'll see, okay, this piece of content, it's related to whatever he's talking about in the webinar. He's probably just going to talk about the webinar. I don't have to worry about it. So you really want to make sure that you say in bold letters, like I have on this page, you won't be discussing this content in the webinar. Is the only time you can get it. It's really valuable stuff that I know you're going to be interested in. So you should check it out. So more often than not, people are going to be like, yeah, I should. It's my only opportunity to get it. I'm going to get it right now. So more often than not, they're going to convert, especially when you have that line that says this is your only opportunity to get this information. I won't be talking about it again. All right, and the final multi-step funnel, one that I think is really cool and innovative, that I will admit I'm not using yet on the Wishpond blog, but I saw this over at digitalmarketer.com, which is run by a guy named Ryan Dice, which I thought was really cool. I wanted to share with you guys. So I went over to Ryan's site and I downloaded a templates pack for Twitter lead generation cards. And when I did that, I was brought to a thank you page with this message at the top. It said important, really bold red background. Read the letter below before you use the lead gen templates. Please allow 10 to 15 minutes for delivery. So what's happening here is I downloaded my templates pack. I really want to get it, but I've been given a 10 to 15 minute delay where I'm not going to get access to it. So it's almost like I'm being forced to just sit here and wait because, in that 10, 15 minute period, I can't really do anything or complete any tasks. It's such a short amount of time. And I'm already on this page, and he's going to basically, below, he's basically pitching an offer for a paid piece of content that is directly related to the templates pack that I just downloaded. So because it's relevant and because I have this short window of time in which I can't really do anything else, I'm very likely to actually, read his entire sales letter and check out this paid piece of content and even buy it because if it's relevant to what I want. He's got me there. If his copy is persuasive and I'm being almost forced to read it and I'm in the mood to check out this type of content, then odds are very high that I'm going to want to buy it. So it's very easy for you to do this with any of your products and services as long as you make sure that the copy and the product itself is very relevant to the content that the person just downloaded in the ebook or the webinar they just signed up for. And that's it. I want to thank you very much for taking your time today to listen to my webinar. And now I'm going to take the questions from the questions box inside. All right, go with the first ones. Do hashtags matter in titles? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. If you want to use, well, you can actually, one of the good things to do is if you're sharing, if you're basically in that share box, in that share widget that I showed on the share with a friend thank you page, you can actually, in the Twitter one specifically, you can actually customize the message that is sent out when a person clicks that tweet. So if you want to make sure that the content you're producing is being shared with a specific hashtag that's very easy to find on Twitter, then you can include that hashtag in that Twitter share message that's automatically populated when a person clicks to tweet it. So that's a great way to get people sharing your content with specific hashtags. All right. Is it better to switch from WordPress.com to WordPress.org to increase blog traffic? I'm not sure it's that big of a difference. I know it depends if you want to have basically your own domain or if you want to use a WordPress domain. If you have your own domain as opposed to a WordPress one, which you can actually do with the hosted version of WordPress, it's probably better. People will kind of you'll have probably more authority because people will see that you're like a real site with his own domain. So probably people will take you more seriously. So I would say definitely go with the non-hosted version of WordPress to have your own domain on it. All right. Okay, how is this relevant to selling a product in e-commerce? So more often than not, even if I'm for an e-commerce store and someone comes to my site, they're not going to buy the first time. But I know a lot of people who are into e-commerce, they're generally just into selling the products. They're not super into blogging. But if you don't want to have a blog set up on your e-commerce site, you can still have these like pop-ups and different calls to action on different parts of your site. And even if you don't want to be producing content for that, one of the best ways you can you can do it to generate leads and kind of nurture those people through emails after they do that first sign up, is with a coupon. So if you want to give people a coupon, like in an exit pop-up when they're leaving, say, hey, hold on, before you leave, download this, get this 10% off coupon. That's a really great way for you to generate those email leads. So that afterwards, after they first download that coupon, you can, send them weekly newsletters that, show you that show them like your newest sales, or your newest deals. All right. When will this presentation be available online? It'll probably be available maybe just a couple hours after we're done here. I'm going to go and send out the recording to every single person who registered, and then it'll also be available online on our website, corp.wishpond.com. How hard is it to create an exit pop-up? It's very, very easy. We actually have a number of different templates that you can use to create a pop-up that are very flexible, very easy to customize with our WYSIWYG editor. So there's no coding required. You don't even need a designer. You can just click on anything, edit it, and then all you have to do is copy and paste a simple piece of code into your site, and everything else is done for you. Very simple to do. All right, where do you get content? So that's a question I kind of hear all the time. So the best way to kind of think about it is if you're selling a certain product or service, think about the questions that people ask before they buy, and like the problem that your product is solving, or the use cases for your product that people are generally going to be searching for on Google. So those are the kind of things that you want to be writing about in terms of content. You want to make sure the content you're producing is very specific to your business and the products and services that you're providing. If you're selling cars, even though some people in the market for cars will also be interested in boats, it doesn't really make sense for you to be writing about boats, because you want to make sure that you're being found on Google for people searching about different things about how to buy a car. So generally, I find the best way to create content is generally just to answer the questions that most people have when they're buying, and to give people ideas on how to use your product to push them to say, hey, yeah, I would like to do that. I would like to try that. I want to buy this product. But there also are other ways to get content. If you're kind of stuck for trying to create your own content, the best way to do that is just to check out what people are talking about in like major industry blogs for your industry in particular. You can see what others are talking about. You can look at the news that's happening. So you can actually kind of write basically analysis on like news that's happening in your industry. If like new products are being rolled out, or maybe there's like a new regulation that came out, you can actually write about how that will affect people, to kind of answer the questions about new things that are happening in the industry. That's always a great thing to use to write content about. All right, what is the best content amplifier on the market? I guess when you say content amplifier, it means getting more people to read your content. Generally, the thing that we have found best for getting more people to find out about our content, other than mostly SEO, most of our traffic is organic, is generally Facebook ads. It's a great way for you to actually target people who are directly interested in like the content that you're producing. And it's a very easy click for that person to actually make, because most ads on Facebook, they're going to be about, buy this product now. And even if they're actually in that target market and, they may be interested in buying that product, the odds of them saying, yeah, I want to buy it right now are probably zero. But if you can provide that target market with a piece of content that they're generally interested in, it's a very easy click for those people and say, hey, yeah, I do want to read this content. I have 5 minutes. I'll check it out. So I definitely do recommend Facebook ads for promoting your content online. Can I watch this webinar again? Will it be on YouTube later? Yes. I'll be publishing it to YouTube. It'll be available on our site. And I'll also be emailing every single one of you with a link to check out the webinar at any time. What is the best platform for content amplification? Again, so yeah, as I just iterated on, definitely Facebook ads are the best, in my opinion. Is this specific to pop-up system at Wishpond? Moving the webinar, missed our presentation, thanks. So this isn't specific to Wishponds. There's a number of other pop-up tools out there that have some of the same features as ours. These are just the ones that I like to highlight in terms of Wishpond's tool, because I think they're the ones that are kind of the most necessary for making sure that the content and the calls to action that you're providing on your site are as relevant and as unobtrusive as possible. But there are other systems that you can use out there that have pop-ups. But I'm biased. I'll say that I like Wishpond's the best. And thanks from Joe. All right. I want to send people to a landing page on my website, but I don't want a random person who found my site from Google to see or find my landing page. How do I do that via WordPress? All right. The way that you can do this is basically by putting a no follow tag on your website, on that specific landing page, so that it will not be indexed by Google. I'm not sure exactly, it's very hard for me to explain exactly how to do this, but if you look online to see about how to add a no follow tag or like a robots.txt file to that landing page, that's what will make sure that Google won't index the page, so it won't be found in search. It'll only be found by people who are actually clicking on the ads that are directly for the landing page itself. All right, how can I make money with blogging? Can I have a lifestyle business affiliate? So yeah, if you're looking at starting your own blog and you want to make money from it, there's two things I definitely recommend doing. The first one is affiliate marketing. That's a great way and probably the biggest way that most people make money from blogging. And the way to do that is to basically write articles that are, use cases or benefits for certain products that people are that you can get an affiliate link from. So Amazon's obviously the affiliate king. You can probably do affiliate links for any product that's sold on Amazon. And there's a lot bigger market. There's also huge marketplaces where you can find products that you can sell through affiliate marketing, such as ClickBank, JVZoo. There's a ton of other ones where basically there'll be a huge marketplace with all these different types of products, and they'll be able to give you an affiliate link that you can add to your site and collect affiliate commission through it. And all you have to do is basically write content on your blog about the reasons people should buy this particular product, then provide that link to it, and then get a lot of people clicking on that link and then buying the product. And the other way to do it is actually to sell your own products and services. So most bloggers who do blogging just as their own business sell mostly consulting services. So what you want to do is kind of establish yourself as a thought leader or a trusted expert in a certain niche, such as, for example, maybe Facebook marketing, and then write a lot of content about that, provide a lot of free content that gets people reading, gets people interested in what you have to say, and then provide kind of free premium content or premium consulting services that people pay for. Meta tags. Okay, I don't know the exact name of the tag. I'm guessing this is still for the for not getting your page indexed by Google. Let me just grab my colleague Jordan. He'll be able to answer that for you. One moment, please. All right, coming online next is Jordan. He's our SEO and Google Analytics expert. Jordan, take it away. So she wants to know how she can create. You want to know how they can create a landing page that won't be indexed by Google, so people will only be able to access it through the Google AdWords.
Okay, so in order to do that, you need to go to the page you don't want to be indexed, and you need to add this meta tag on the header. Okay. I don't know if you get it, but it's probably at the end of the presentation we would be able to send you the code. There, I cannot send it again. So yeah, it's just a line of code. Like the robots.txt actually doesn't help that much, because if you just want to hide one page, people would also be able to see it on the file. So if you put a meta tag on the header, then Google won't index it, and you don't have to worry about that.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. All right. How do you differentiate your content from other blogs and publications if the topic your audience is interested in is already getting written about constantly? That's a great question. We're actually kind of in that same boat. A lot of people are talking about the same things as us: online marketing and lead generation. The thing that I find is the best is to always write basically the best answer to every single question, which is why we write a lot of long form content. So there's a ton of blogs out there that are writing on similar things to us, which is landing page conversion rate optimization, landing page design, like different mistakes that you can make and different ways to make your pages convert best. I always try to basically make every single blog post to write the absolute best answer, the definitive answer, or the definitive place for that person to find basically the answer they're looking for, which is why we make our content so long, so meaty, 3,000 words. That way, when people come to your site, they know that you're the ultimate source for that specific type of content, because every single content piece you write is like the complete answer for everything they're looking for. All right. What do you think of YouTube as a way to amplify content? Have you employed this in your strategy to build your business? Yes. We publish quite a few videos on YouTube. Um, YouTube is very competitive. There are a lot of people producing YouTube videos on a lot of different types of content. But mostly, I like using video in our own blog posts on our blog. I find that people are, when they come to a blog, they're more interested in watching a video. So if you can embed those videos inside of your own blog content, you're going to get a lot of people watching that video and also sharing it, because it's more unique to find a blog post that has a video in it talking about something than just an article full of plain text. But as I read it on, it is very competitive. There are people making videos all the time. The thing we've done that we have found successful is promoting our videos, as well as using a YouTube retargeting. So retargeting is a more advanced method of advertising, where basically if a person comes to your blog and they don't convert, like they don't sign up for one of your paid products, you can actually drop a cookie on their browser and then follow them with ads online. And the type of retargeting that we found most beneficial with the biggest ROI for us has been YouTube retargeting ads, which are the pre-roll ads that you see before a YouTube video comes on. And yeah, they are annoying to a lot of people, but we found that if we use educational videos to kind of promote our content, as opposed to just saying, hey, buy this product from Wishpond, we found that to be a very high converting type of advertisement to use, and a great way to use YouTube to get people watching your content. All right. Got that. No problem. Will the Q&A be included in the webinar upload? Yes, it will. The entire webinar is being recorded. And that's all the questions. I'll stick around for a minute or two. If you have a question you want to think of, you can jot it in right there. No problem. Thank you for joining. All right, another question. Hello, what are your thoughts about Outbrain and Taboola? And to keep, got cut off there. And to keep expectations. I'm not sure if that's the end or if you're still going. Oh, expectation realistic. How long will it take? To generate sustainable. Okay, so let's go through the whole thing from the top. So the question is, what are your thoughts about Outbrain and Taboola? And to keep expectations realistic, how long will it take to generate sustainable traffic to a site? We have used Outbrain before. Specifically, that tool, what it does is Outbrain is kind of like a content amplification tool. So on like major blogs or even on your own blog, you can basically put this Outbrain widget at the bottom of all of your posts. What happens is when you have that there, Outbrain will actually provide calls to action for blog posts from other sites. So it's basically a great way for you to promote your content on sites that are talking about your specific type of content as well. We did try Outbrain last year for a while. We did not find much success with it at all. we were finding, from our opinion, a lot of the clicks seemed like bots because they would click and then not spend any time on the site. So we didn't have a great experience with it. I know like a ton of people use Outbrain; it's very popular. But to be honest, for us, we didn't find much success with it. We tried it for a couple months. It wasn't generating near enough revenue or basically even time on site for us to validate the amount of money that we're spending on it. So I didn't have the best experience with it, to be honest with you. Can Wishpond pop-ups be text only, or do they all have the email request? We can do pop-ups that basically just have, if you just want to have one that has just text in it, maybe a video, yeah, you can do that. Or if you just want to have like a button on it, you can do that as well. You don't have to ask for the email address. Okay, this is the end of the last question. So I hope it answers your question there, Eric. If you have any follow-up question, please feel free to put it in. All right, I think that's it. Doesn't look like any more questions are coming in. Again, I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to come and watch the webinar. And I will be sending you a follow-up email with a link to the recording, so you'll be able to watch it again anytime you want. If you have any questions or you just want to talk about online marketing in general, please feel free to send me an email at nick@wishpond.com. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks. Bye.